Guidance for the theory test. Before beginning the theory test, we recommend watching this video. In this video, you will find a detailed explanation of various traffic situations and how to comprehend them to answer the related questions. Each picture comes with an introduction and answering options. You can choose to listen to the reading. At the testing site, you will find a 24-inch touchscreen and headphones. There are a total of 25 pictures with 3 to 4 statements each. To pass the test, you must answer 100% correctly on at least 20 pictures within the time frame of 25 minutes. In order to complete the task, you will need to choose the correct answer or answers from the 3 to 4 questions provided for each picture. There will always be at least one correct answer for each picture. If you answer one or more questions incorrectly for a single image, it will count as one error. To review the images, simply scroll through and mark the ones you want to see again. Once you're done, you can go to the end of the question overview and directly access the ones you've marked. The images that you've already responded to will be highlighted in blue. Please note that the questions that you have not answered will be left blank, and those that you have marked will be indicated with a star on top. During the theory test, you will need to visualize yourself sitting in the driver's seat of a car and looking through the windscreen. In some traffic scenarios, you may also be able to see your mirrors, speedometer, and other relevant dashboard items. Always evaluate your position on the road. In this scenario, your car is positioned in the middle lane. The inside driver's side mirror can be seen at the top of the picture, while the left and right wing mirrors and the instrument panel can be viewed at the bottom. The speedometer in the middle indicates your current speed, and other symbols include the left and right turn signals, airbag, dip beam, high beam, cruise control, ABS brakes, warning light for the power steering system, position light, and ESP, electronic stabilization program. The introduction question for this picture could be, what should you be especially aware of here? And then you will get up to 4 answer options where you have to choose the correct answer or answers. How will you answer? I have to pass this obstacle on its right side. I have to pass this obstacle on its left side. I am allowed to pass this obstacle on both sides. I pay special attention to the road work. The correct answers will be 3 and 4. The warning board shows that you must pay particular attention to roadworks, and the board below shows optional passage, so you are free to choose whether you want to pass the obstacle left or right. In the introduction to an image, you will be told what to do. The introduction to this image could read, you are driving at 30 km per hour. How will you continue? I warn the pedestrian with a horn signal. I continue with the same speed of 30 km per hour. I pull up to the curb on my right side. I brake and wait for the pedestrian. The pedestrian is standing in the middle of the road. It can potentially lead to a dangerous situation because of the oncoming cars. Therefore, you must brake and hold back for the pedestrian. She is aware of you, and here you should not use the horn. The horn may only be used to prevent a dangerous situation. When making a decision while driving, it is important to be aware of any vehicles in your blind spots. If this information is not provided beforehand, you will need to check your blind spots before making any maneuvers like changing lanes or starting. During the theory exam, usually, there are 1 or 2 questions about setting off. It is crucial to pay close attention to the instructions given for each picture. For example, you are staying by the curb and would like to set off. What will you do? I carefully set off straight away. I make orientation in the blind angles, behind on my left. If there is no traffic, I will set off. In the introduction, it is not stated whether there is anyone in the blind spots or not. Before starting your vehicle, it's crucial to orient yourself and check your blind spots by looking over your shoulder. Don't rush into starting the car right away. Generally, when there is a question about doing something immediately, there are good chances that the answer is no. It's essential to orient yourself even when you don't see anyone in the mirrors because there might be someone close to you in the blind spots. Usually, when you're asked about orientation, the answer is yes, but not always. If there are no vehicles or pedestrians in the blind spots, you can proceed. The phrase, "be especially careful," is used to emphasize the visible warning signs that are relevant to your current driving situation. While driving, you have to pay attention to the overall traffic situation. But first, pay special attention to the traffic situation in your immediate proximity. This can potentially become a dangerous situation. Therefore, you have to pay attention to the nearest pedestrian on your left side and to the driver on your right side who is opening the door. For some of the situations, there will only be graphics like this one. For example, when there are questions about alcohol, drugs, or traffic rules. What is the maximum blood alcohol level allowed to have in the system, if you are driving in a safe way? 1,2. 0,8. 0,5. 0,05. The correct answer is number 3. An expression that is used when choosing a speed is, "I continue at the same speed." The term is used if there is no reason to change anything about your driving. The phrase, "I move my foot to the brake," indicates a position of readiness in a situation where you need to react quickly. If you are mentally and physically prepared to brake, it can significantly reduce the length it takes to come to a complete stop. It's important to remember that there are different levels of braking while driving. For example, "I brake softly" is a term appropriate for situations where the road is slippery. On the other hand, a term, "I brake hard," is appropriate for dangerous situations where you need to stop the car as quickly as possible. When answering questions, always assume that you are driving an ordinary car, unless otherwise specified. There is a distinction between the expressions, "pay attention," versus, "pay special attention." For example, if you see a traffic sign indicating that trucks are not allowed to turn right, you should still pay attention to the sign even if you are driving a regular car. But, you don't need to pay special attention to this sign, as you are not driving a truck. In this situation, you must pay special attention to the traffic signs, because they are important for your continued driving. It is forbidden to drive faster than 40 km per hour, and the road narrows on both sides. Proper placement on the road while driving. Various expressions will be used such as, "I position myself in the middle of my lane," and you should normally always do that. "I pull up to the middle of the road." You will do this, for example, when you are preparing to overtake. Then you pull towards the middle of the road to get a better overview of the situation. "I pull my vehicle all the way to the right edge of the lane." You typically have to do this when passing by another vehicle, when there is not much space. You must be careful when driving close to the right edge of the road, as you may be at risk of hitting the edge. Always adjust your speed accordingly. "I move over onto the curb." You do this when there is no space on the road when meeting oncoming traffic. Remember that you must adjust the speed before you move over onto the curb. You should stay in the center of your lane, and not cross the lane or warning lines to flatten the bend. Here you only have to pay special attention to the pedestrian. You don't need to pay special attention to the blue car coming from the side road or the black car in front. This is because you must brake and hold back for the pedestrian. And that is what is most important to you for the next 2 to 3 seconds, after which the traffic situation will change. Here you must pay particular attention to the police officer and not to the traffic light, because it's not working. The arm up means that all traffic from all directions must stop. You may continue driving when you see the police officer from the side, with arms along the body, or when one or both arms are extended, in your direction. For the test, there will typically be 1 to 2 pictures about stopping and parking. Here, parking is prohibited for lorries, and there are no restrictions for passenger cars. Here you may stop and park the car. When there are yellow dotted border lines, parking is prohibited. Stopping of up to 3 minutes is permitted. Stopping is also allowed if you are loading and unloading some goods, as well as helping passengers to get on and off. There is no time limit, but it must take place in continuity. For example, if you have to pick up a large TV from the 3rd floor, it may take some time and it will still be considered a stopping. Thanks for watching this video. Feel free to share it.
Vil du gerne bestå? Vælg PROVE.DK